My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Are negative Google reviews hurting your business? Don't let unfair feedback cost you customers. At Webamax, we specialize in removing false, misleading, and damaging reviews so your online reputation stays strong. Our expert team works quickly and legally to clean up your digital presence, helping you rebuild trust. Visit us on the web at www.gowebamax.com. That's GOWEBIMAX.com, or text us for a free quote at 856-840-8343. Don't let bad reviews define you. Get immediate help from Webamax.
This episode is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the date of the big game first before you accidentally buy tickets on your 20th wedding anniversary and have to spend the next 20 years of your marriage making up for it. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
This is a message from sponsor Intuit TurboTax. Taxes was getting frustrated by your forms. Now, Taxes is uploading your forms with a snap, and a TurboTax expert will do your taxes for you. One who's backed by the latest tech, which cross-checks millions of data points for absolute accuracy, all of which makes it easy for you to get the most money back, guaranteed. Get an expert now at TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service. See guaranteed details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
This President's Day, upgrade the look of your home without breaking your budget. Save up to 50% site-wide on new window treatments at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it easy with free virtual consultations on your schedule and samples delivered to your door fast and free. With over 25 million windows covered and a 100% satisfaction guarantee, you can count on Blinds.com to deliver results you'll love. Shop Blinds.com's President's Day mega sale now for up to 50% off site-wide. Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Welcome to the Eagles Checkdown, the fastest under 10-minute Eagles podcast there is, covering news, notes, and opinions on your favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, right here on the Eagles Pinpoll Podcast Network. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel, and you can find me on all social media platforms at Bearded Knowledge and hosting Trending in the AM on the STT Sports Network every morning at 8 a.m. Got it linked below. And we continue this first week of offseason with some news and then diving into the free agents the Eagles have and whether they should stay or go, and a name that's going to confuse people on who I think could be cut at some point. So let's dive into it first with some news. TJ Pagnotti, I'm not sure if I pronounced that correct, a run game specialist, assistant offensive line coach, been with the Eagles off and on since the 2013 season, was signed to the Saints coaching staff under Kellen Moore. No job has been announced for him. It's not the offensive coordinator position. That is almost certain now at this point on Wednesday morning, going to Doug Nussmeier, also of the Eagles. But TJ Pagnotti is gone. That means we have upwards of 3, 4, 5 coaching positions to fill. And a lot of reports say late Tuesday into Wednesday, the Eagles are going to start beginning their interview process with potential offensive coordinator for next year, which I kind of feel like they need to jump and be aggressive on and get it locked up, whether it's Kevin Patullo or somebody else. But that is supposed to begin on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. So very soon this week, we will learn who the new offense coordinator of the Eagles will be. But outside offense coordinator, there's going to be some offensive coaches and maybe even defensive coaches that are poached, especially to go to New Orleans with Kellen Moore. So there's going to be some jobs to fill in Philadelphia. But there's also a lot of positions filled. We talked a little bit yesterday about some of the defensive free agents like Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, Zach Bond. There's some fringe guys that we can get into later on this offseason. But on offense, there's a bunch of free agents, but one really specific big name on the offensive side that's a free agent, and that's starting right guard Mekhi Becton. He came over here on a one-year prove-it deal, a former first-round pick just a few years ago, the Jets. Proved to be an invaluable part of this Eagles offensive line. And everybody has already completely written off Mekhi Becton returning because you got Tyler Steen, and they'll be fine. Spend that money elsewhere. But first and foremost, I kind of feel like Howie Roseman has earned the right to be trusted in what he does. And what he does is prioritize the offensive line. Not only is Mekhi Becton a free agent, but you got Fred Johnson, you got Nick Gates, you got Jack Driscoll, you got Lavian Clark. You got 4 other depth pieces on the offensive line that are also free agents this offseason on just the line itself on offense. Seth Joyner said on one of his shows last week that why are so many Eagles fans ready to write Becton off? Tyler Steen, in a very small sample size, did perform decently in a backup position. But you got Lane Johnson getting towards the end of his career. Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson have a litany of injuries throughout their college and pro careers. Jordan Mailata got banged up this year at times. It's very important to have a very deep and talented offensive line. We all remember how bad it was in 2020 when everybody was getting hurt, when we started 27 different starting O-line configurations over that 16-game span. We all remember gloves, fixing those gloves in the middle of a play. So it's extremely important, in my opinion. And honestly, it's not as top priority like Zach Bond, but it's almost as equally important to find a way to retain Mekhi Becton here in Philadelphia. And then you've got Tyler Steen as that first guy off the bench, and you rearrange him and Becton at a moment's notice. Fred Johnson, Gates, Driscoll, Clark, they're all names. You could see them come back. They could go. You can replace them. But you cannot replace a starting right guard that easily just by promoting one guy. People also forget, and I know Becton and Steen were both, not just Steen, but both injured in training camp. Mekhi Becton was not the starter coming into the season. He was listed as the backup guy. He stole that starting job. He earned that starting job from the 3rd-round pick, Tyler Steen, who had been here before. He worked his tail off to play a position he never played in the NFL before. Mekhi Becton is a huge priority. It's Zach Bond 1. It's Mekhi Becton a very close second, in my opinion. Keeping that offensive line, keeping the trenches secure has got to be a priority. And I fully expect it to be. Kenny Gainwell's a free agent. Britton Covey, Paris Campbell, C.J. Uzomah. Kenny Gainwell's going to get probably a little bit more money on the open market and more opportunities on the open market. So he'll go. Covey and Campbell. Covey's a cool guy and a nice guy, but he can go. Campbell is nothing really. Maybe he stays on a cheap deal. I mean, he was on the roster, on the practice squad, cut, promoted, cut, changed, and this and that like 97 times. C.J. Uzomah is a replaceable tight end position. So it doesn't matter if he comes and go. Offensively, it's got to be Mekhi Becton, top priority. But with C.J. Uzomah being a tight end, being a free agent, it brings up something that I didn't realize people were so offended by when I said this. You got one Dallas Goedert, been here for a while, about to push 30 years old. Hold on, I'm switching screens here while I'm recording this to get the exact age. He's already turned 30. So he is 30 years old. In the playoffs next year, he'll be 31. He's on the last year of his deal here in Philadelphia. He is going to count against the cap for $12 million and change. Dallas Goedert, if you cut him post June 1st, you get $7 million in cap savings on a team that needs to retain Mekhi Becton, Zach Bond, and other guys, and bring in new names. I know Dallas Goedert's a good player, borderline a great player, a top-tier tight end in the NFL. But let me just give you these numbers here real quick. This past year, he played in 10 games. He had 42 catches and 2 touchdowns, less than 500 yards receiving. Is 42 catches for 500 yards, and we'll round up by 10 there, and 2 touchdowns, is that worth $12 million? I don't think so. I know he's a great blocking tight end, and Grant Calcaterra can't block. The draft is deep in tight ends. You can easily get a really good quality tight end in the 2nd or 3rd round. If Dallas Goedert is not willing to renegotiate his contract to save some money on the cap, then there is an extremely real possibility that Dallas Goedert gets cut post June 1st. And I think Eagles fans have to realize that there's going to be some very tough decisions this offseason. 10 games this past year, 14 the year before that, 12 games only in 2022, 15, 21, only 11 in 2020. This guy has missed over 20 games over the last 5 years of his career. He can't help the club from the tub. He costs a lot of money. He's a great player when healthy, but he's not healthy. There's a scenario. I know it's good. Even listen to this. You're probably upset. And you're probably going to come on Trending in the AM to blast me for it. But you know what? It's a situation that has to be addressed and a situation that people have to accept. That you cannot count for $12 million against the cap if you're only playing 10 out of 17 games. It is what it is. We'll get into more offseason moves tomorrow. Maybe we'll know a little bit more about the offensive coordinator position or coaching position when we record for tomorrow. But everybody have a great Wednesday. Go Birds, and bubbles up.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place. For changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Build a routine with Ollie that supports your wellness needs, like getting your daily vitamins and minerals with Ollie's multi-gummies, or keeping your mood upbeat with all the vitamin D in Hello Happy. Give your gut health some support with probiotics, and wake up feeling refreshed after taking Ollie Sleep. Do wellness on your terms. Find Ollie at a Walmart or Target near you or at ollie.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. During tax season, your personal info travels to a lot of places. Between payroll, your tax consultant, and the IRS. If your W-2 gets exposed, that's just the ticket for identity thieves. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.